With the 2024-25 league season now officially finished for the Championship, League 1 and League 2, in today's video I'm going to go through and give my predictions for the upcoming EFL playoffs. Now, if you're a fan that's involved in it or not, the playoffs is one of the most exciting pieces of sporting content that you can watch. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, it's very nerve-wracking if you're involved in the playoffs. Thankfully, as a Bradford City fan, we don't have to go through it this year. We had obviously had our own heartbreak a couple of seasons ago, but we'll go through the Championship, League 1, League 2, all the semi-finals, predict the final, who is going to get promoted. Get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like on there for me as well, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Can we try and hit 200 likes on today's video? That would be massively appreciated. Let's waste no further time and get straight into it. We'll start out firstly then with Bristol City versus Sheffield United. Obviously, Sheffield United had a very good season, accumulating the 90 points. In the end, they crumbled a little bit towards the back end of the campaign, whereas Bristol City just about snuck in there. They actually finished 2 points inside the playoffs, Blackburn in 7th on 66 points, just a +4 goal difference though for Bristol City, and it was just 1 point picked up out of their last 3 matches. In terms of earlier on in the season, when both of these sides met at Ashton Gate, there was some real late drama in that one. Sheffield United got an 86th minute equaliser. Rob Dickie was then sent off for Bristol City in the 95th minute, and Harrison Burrows would score a 98th minute winner back in November. Then at Bramall Lane, it did finish in a 1-1 draw where Bristol City equalised late on again in that one. In terms of the clash at Ashton Gate, with Bristol City having the 4th best home form in the division this year, and despite Sheffield United having the 2nd best away form, picking up more points on the road this season than champions Leeds United, they have lost 3 of their last 4 away matches. Bristol City have been very strong. They love a 2-1 home win, so I'm going to back them for that. But then at Bramall Lane, Sheffield United obviously the 3rd best home form in the entire division across the full season, and Bristol City's away form is only the 14th best. They haven't won in their last 5 away games. They've drawn 2 and lost 3. They've only won 4 on the road all season, have Bristol City. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 home win for Sheffield United, and that will see them progress through to Wembley, winning 3-2 on aggregate. Coventry City versus Sunderland is the other Championship semi-final. Obviously, Sunderland are coming in off the back of 5 straight defeats, and anybody who's ever watched the playoffs knows you need to be coming into the playoffs with some type of momentum. They've known for a long time that they're definitely going to finish in 4th. They were 14 points away from finishing 3rd and 7 points away from finishing 5th, and obviously Coventry have picked up 7 points out of their last 5 matches. That's not particularly great, but it's much better than 5 straight defeats on the bounce. Coventry have the 5th best home form, they've been the 5th best home team in the division so far this season. Sunderland have been the 6th. They've obviously lost their last 3 home matches. In terms of the away form, Sunderland have been the 4th best away side in the division this season, but Coventry are down in 12th with just 1 point picked up out of their last 5 away matches. So in terms of the game at Coventry City, I'm going to back Frank Lampard's side for a 1-0 home win. They've obviously been very good since Lampard has gone in there. Then in terms of the game at the Stadium of Light, it's really hard to say, in all honesty. Obviously, they drew 2-2 there back in November, and obviously Coventry did win 3-0 in the reverse fixture back in March as well. Sunderland were 2-0 up in the game in November, and obviously Coventry did pull it back. I think I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in that one, which would obviously see Coventry progress through to Wembley, winning 2-1 on aggregate. That's really hard to call. And then if we are to have a Sheffield United versus Coventry City shootout for a spot in the Premier League next season, obviously back in November, the 2 sides drew 2-2 at Coventry's ground, where obviously Anel Ahmedzodic, apologies massively for the poor pronunciation of that, was sent off just before half-time. And then in March, Sheffield United won that game 3-1, where it was pretty comfortable, in all honesty. It's really, really hard to call. Obviously, kind of home and away form, you can't really factor that into just a 1-game playoff shootout at Wembley, but for some reason, something is telling me Coventry will win that game 2-1. I'm not really sure why. Obviously, Sheffield United had a much better season. They got 21 more points than Coventry City, but I'm going to back Frank Lampard's side for promotion to the Premier League. I think they'll win 2-1 in the final. Moving on then into League 1, Leyton Orient versus Stockport County. I'm really looking forward to see how these two teams battle it out. Obviously, Leyton Orient have absolutely smashed it this season under Richie Wellens. I won't say they've got one of the smaller budgets, but they've definitely got smaller budgets than the likes of Bolton, Huddersfield, probably Blackpool, Barnsley as well. They've done a very, very good job to make it into the playoffs. Stockport for a first season in League One, absolutely incredible. Just 5 points off of finishing in the automatic promotion spots. Both teams coming in on great form. Leyton Orient have won their last 5 straight matches. Stockport have won 4 and drawn 1 of their last 5 games as well. In terms of the 2 meetings between the 2 sides, Stockport lost 4-1 at Edgeley Park, where Leyton Orient were absolutely brilliant that game. Then obviously Stockport went away to Brisbane Road, I think is it still called, and won 1-0 in that game. So the one at Edgeley Park was clearly dominated by Leyton Orient. The one at Brisbane Road, assuming it is still called that, was a very even game as well. Now, in terms of the home form between 2 teams this season, Stockport have been the 3rd best home team in the division this campaign with 16 wins out of 23 matches, whereas Leyton Orient, they're down in 7th. They have lost 7, won 12 and drawn 4 of their 23 games. But in terms of away form, Leyton Orient are actually up in 4th. Stockport are in 5th as well. So it's going to be really tight. I feel like whoever gets the first goal is then going to go for the jugular. I don't see this one being low scoring between the 2 sides, because I think Leyton Orient defensively can be got at a little bit. They have conceded the most goals out of any team in that top 6, as you would expect with them finishing in 6th. So in terms of Leyton Orient versus Stockport County, I'm going to go with a 2-0 away win for Stockport, and then Stockport County versus Leyton Orient, I think will finish in a 1-1 draw. So that would see Stockport progress through to Wembley, winning 3-1 on aggregate. Then we have Wycombe Wanderers versus Charlton Athletic. Obviously, Wycombe were doing absolutely brilliant under Matt Bloomfield since, is it something Dodds came in from Sunderland's academy. They've been okay, but they've not been particularly great. They've lost their last 3 straight matches. They played very recently at Wycombe's ground, where Charlton came away with a 4-0 win, having got a red card as well. Back in December at the Valley, Charlton won that game at 2-1. I feel like Nathan Jones has certainly got the experience, they've got the quality, they've got the know-how as well. I do think Charlton will win very comfortably and progress through to Wembley. In terms of Wycombe versus Charlton, I'm going to back Nathan Jones' side for a 2-1 away win, and then at the Valley, I'm going to go Charlton 2, Wycombe 0. So obviously that would see Charlton progress through to Wembley, winning 4-1, I think, on aggregate, setting it up for a Stockport versus Charlton final. Previously in the season, Charlton and Stockport finished in a 1-1 draw, where the away side did get a late red card in that game, but the stats were clearly in favour of Charlton. And then back in March at Edgeley Park, it did finish in a 0-0 draw, just 1 shot on target for both sides in that game. Stockport definitely the better side, way more shots, more possession, all that sort of stuff, but Charlton probably happy for the point on the road. It's really, really hard to call. Having a look at the home form, Stockport 3rd, Charlton 4th. Having a look at the away form, Stockport 5th, Charlton 8th. So it is really, really hard to call. I think in a game like this, who's got the big players that are going to step up? Charlton obviously got Matty Godden. Stockport obviously don't have Louis Barry anymore, but they've, if anything, kicked on since Barry went back to Aston Villa in January. Both sides have had an unbelievable season. This is the end of the table where Charlton should be competing in League One. I feel like either side that doesn't win this will surely be favourites for automatic promotion next season, but I think I'm going to back Charlton for a 2-1 win at Wembley. I just think they've got that experience. I know Stockport have got your Horsfalls, your Norwoods, but I think Charlton have just got that know-how, and I'm going to back them for a 2-1 win. I think they will be promoted back into the Championship. This is so hard to call. Let's move on to League 2. Now, League 2 is definitely the division that I have the most knowledge on out of these 3 leagues, as we have covered it on this channel for the majority of this season. So we'll start out firstly then with Chesterfield versus Walsall. Obviously, Chesterfield definitely coming in to the playoffs with the most and best form out of the teams. They've picked up 11 points out of their last 5 matches. Walsall finally got a win on the final day, their first since the end of February, only their 3rd since the middle of January as well. And obviously earlier on in the season, back in October, the 2 teams did draw 2-2 at Chesterfield's ground, and then back in February was actually Walsall's one of Walsall's 3 wins that have come since the middle of January, where they did win 3-1 in that game. Chesterfield were absolutely terrible, and I think after this one, Paul Cook came out and said that their season was over, so it could only be fair that they would now play Walsall in the playoffs. Obviously, Walsall, they've been terrible in the second half of the campaign and massively have missed Nathan Lowe. Still have the 5th best home form in the division, but haven't won at home in a long time. I think their last home win was that one against Chesterfield, and then you're going back to the beginning of January. Chesterfield, they have the 6th best home home form in the division this season. I'll get it in there now. Bradford had the best in the entire league. 17 wins out of 23 matches at home. 11 more points than second place Wimbledon. Absolutely fantastic. But it's not about Bradford City. We're going to be in League One next season. In terms of the away form, Walsall, they're up in 4th for best away form in the division. Chesterfield, they're in 8th as well. But I think they're coming in with much the better form. I think they'll win 3-1 in the home leg, will Chesterfield. And then at the best Scott, I'll probably go with a 1-1 draw. So Chesterfield will progress through to Wembley with a 4-2 win. And surely Matt Sadler will then get the sack for that. But it'll be very expensive considering they gave him a new long-term contract not too long ago. Knox County versus AFC Wimbledon then is the other playoff semi-final. Now obviously Wimbledon again coming in off the back of some really poor form. Did win their final game of the season 1-0 away at Grimsby. Knox County, they've not been great for ages. They've only got 1 win in their last 5. Lost on the final day at home to the champions at Doncaster Rovers. So really hard to call between the two sides. Back in October, Knox County came away with a 1-0 home win. Matty Platt scoring the only goal of the game in that one. But then back in March, Wimbledon picked up a 2-0 home win. I watched this game and Knox County could not get anywhere near Wimbledon. I feel like the first leg is very important for Knox County. Knox County have to win and take a good away advantage into the second leg, and I think that is what I'm going to predict in terms of both teams' home form. Wimbledon are that team in second. They have the second best home form in the entire division despite just 1 win in their last 5. Knox County, they're down in 10th for home form, 3 straight defeats on the bounce, but away form, Knox actually have the second best away form in the league, and Wimbledon are down in 9th. So you would anticipate it's going to be maybe a bit of a nothing game in the first leg because Knox are not great at home, Wimbledon are not great away. And then obviously all guns blazing in the second leg where Wimbledon are great at home and Knox County are great away from home. In terms of a score prediction then, obviously Knox County, they're going to play their possession based style. Wimbledon, they're going to play their long ball sitting in their low block. It is 2 very contrasting styles of play. Again, similar to Matt Sadler, if any of them 3 teams don't get promoted, I would expect a change of manager. But I'm going to go for the first leg, Knox County 0, AFC Wimbledon 0, and then for the second leg, I'm going to go AFC Wimbledon 1, Knox County 0. I think they'll just about scrape through. Knox have certainly got that star quality that nobody else has in the division in David McGoldrick. He could pop up with a worldie, but Wimbledon, they're so defensively resolute. They're coming off the back with a win, whereas Knox County are not doing so. Both sides, I think, probably want their manager out, so there's not really much togetherness coming into it, but I think Wimbledon will just about get past. I don't think it's going to be very high scoring. I'm going to go 1-0 and they'll progress through to Wembley to face Chesterfield. And again, it's really hard to call between these two sides. Back in December at Chesterfield Stadium, Armando Dobra scored the only goal of the game in a 1-0 win, scoring that one in the 3rd minute. And then back in April, obviously on the 18th, quite a recent game, they drew 0-0 in that one at Wimbledon's ground where Chesterfield didn't even register a shot on target. Again, it is really, really hard to call. I think on the bigger pitch, he's certainly going to suit Chesterfield's style of play. They're very good technically. Jensen Metcalfe is a player that I rate very highly in that midfield. They've got a very good attack to Chesterfield defensively, though. They do concern me a little bit. They were terrible defensively against Bradford City, but clearly showed they've got a lot of firepower going forward. Whereas Wimbledon, a little bit more solid defensively. Only 35 goals conceded in the league campaign, but then again, only 56 goals scored. That is the least amount in the top 9 teams. So again, I think it's going to be tight. There could be a couple of goals in there, but I'm going to back Chesterfield for a 2-1 win at Wembley. And despite only scraping into the playoffs on the final day, they've got the form. I see them getting promoted alongside Doncaster, Port Vale and Bradford into League One next season. Again, really, really hard to call. That would probably see a sacking at Knox County, Wimbledon and Walsall if all of that does come through. But let me know your thoughts down below for all 3 of the divisions. Who do you think is getting promoted? If you have enjoyed watching though, don't forget to drop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. 200 likes, as I mentioned at the start of today's video, would be massively appreciated. Thank you so much for your support. We have just recently hit 900 subscribers as well, so one last big push to get to 1,000. Can we get there by the 1st of June? That is your target. Thank you so much though for the support. It is massively, massively appreciated. Have a great rest of your day and bring on the playoffs.